everybody, and welcome back to Virtual Storytime at the Castle Shannon Library. We are reading winter snow-themed stories for Storytime all month long in January. And today we are going to read Blizzard by John Rocco. And this story is actually about the real, true blizzard of 1978 that happened in New England, so up near Maine and New Hampshire and Vermont and Connecticut and Massachusetts and Rhode Island, all that area up there that is considered New England. And they had a real blizzard there in 1978, and this story is based on what happened during that blizzard. So we're gonna check it out right now. And look, even the inside looks snowy and blizzardy. It says, one day when I was a young boy, nearly 4 feet of snow fell from the sky. And this is my story. So look how much 4 feet is. So he's standing here with a measuring stick. And then it's up to his knees. It's up to his hips. And it's up to his armpits. And it's up almost to his neck. And it's above his head. So 4 feet was taller than he was at the time. And this is Blizzard. The first flake fell right before recess, and it was followed by many, many more. The wind whipped up and school closed early. By the time my sister and I got home, the snow was already over our boots. And here, when he's leaving school, he says, yay. He's excited. But when he gets home, it's not looking quite as excited. The snow continued to fall through the night, and I thought it would never, never stop. The next morning, the snowdrifts were so high we couldn't open our front door, so we went out the window instead. Mom says, be careful. Look, it tells us this is Tuesday. So if we saw back here, go back, it says Monday on the blackboard. You can see that. It says Monday. And then up here on the roof, it says Tuesday. And the snow was so high, they couldn't go out the front door and they had to go out the window. In 2010 or 2011, I think it was 2010. No, maybe it was 2011. I can't remember. 2010 or 2011, we had a blizzard here in Pittsburgh, and it was in February also. And I was on spring break in high school. We were on our spring break, so we were off for a week. And we got up one morning, and there was so much snow, we couldn't get out the front door. And my dad had to go down to the garage and get a shovel, and he had to knock all the snow out from the front door so we could get out the front door. So it was just like this, except we didn't go out the window. We knocked the snow out and went out the front door. We laughed as we sank deep into the frozen powder. And the doggy says, woof. But walking was hard. It was like trying to move through white quicksand. Every few steps, I had to stop and rest. He says, oof. It was even too deep for our sled. He says, we need sled dogs. When we went back inside, we were cold, wet, and tired. And Mom says, welcome back, explorers. We made camp by the wood stove, and our feet tingled as we sipped hot cocoa made with milk. He's reading a book called Arctic Survival. So the Arctic is where it's really, really cold. And survival means making it through something hard. So look how nice it is here by the fire. They're by the fire, the lights on. When we had our blizzard in 2010 or 2011, my house didn't have any power. So we all had to camp out in front of the fireplace like this to stay warm and to be able to see. On the third day, it says Wednesday up here, Dad shoveled the driveway so he could get the car out when the snow plows came. We dug tunnels and secret rooms under the snow. So little boy says, an igloo can keep you warm in sub-zero temperatures. And his sister says, what's an igloo? Do you know what an igloo is? It's not Melon Arena, which is what they used to call the arena. They used to call it the igloo. And most of you probably don't even remember that because that was also last used in 2010. So think about what an igloo is. Maybe I'll tell you what it is at the end. By day 4, the plows still hadn't come, and I'd wondered if we'd ever see grass again. So, somebody's picnic table was here. We got a basketball hoop. Looks like Dad was making a path to the garage, and the neighbors are doing the same thing. It says it's Thursday. Dad's got his shovel. Maybe I will put up pictures of our blizzard from 2010 on the page with this story, because I have pictures where it looks just like this. It looks just like this. All of my dad and all of our neighbors, everybody was tunneling out of their house. It looked just like that. Inside, things got tense as our food started to run out. I knew we couldn't survive much longer on cocoa made with water. And in the house here, it says we need to get to the store. The roads aren't plowed, and we certainly can't walk through this. So in 2010, we knew it was going to snow. If you know anything about Pittsburghers, whether it be a pandemic or a snowstorm, we always make a trip to the store for toilet paper, bread, milk, and cheese. So we were ready. We were fine. Except for by like the 4th or 5th day, we were getting sick of bread, milk, and cheese. So my dad snuck out with his truck. He had to drive under a fallen tree, but he made it to the Chinese restaurant, and we got takeout. So maybe that's what they're going to do. Maybe Dad is going to go out in his truck and get Chinese takeout. On day 5, which is Friday, as we can see here in the raisins, I realized it was up to me to take action. I was the only one who had memorized the survival guide. I was the only one who knew what equipment was required. So we got a hockey stick and a tennis racket here, which I think he thinks is a snowshoe. He's got his doggy. I was the only one light enough to walk on top of the snow. On day 6, I made a list. So it's Saturday. He wanted milk, bread, eggs, and a candy bar. Can't blame him for that. I prepared the sled, and then I set off. Now, I remember this was set in 1978, where you could probably walk to the store on a good day. And look at this, the pages are gonna open up here in a minute. So my usual landmarks were covered by snowdrifts, but I managed to check in with the neighbors on my long journey. So this neighbor wanted candles. This neighbor wanted cat food. This one wanted coffee. This one wanted peanut butter, and he said, okay. Watch what happens here. This is gonna get hard for me to hold. So here I helped build a snow. I checked in with the neighbors up top here. Down here he says he helped build a snowman and climbed a lookout and went the wrong way. It's gonna be hard. This opens up again, so I will do my best to show you whatever I can. So here he said he made an angel, explored an igloo. So look, we've got an igloo and what it looks like right here. I hope I'm pointing like somewhat near it. And then over here, see, he joined a snowball fight and made it to Bill's Market. So, I don't know if I can get this all the way open so you can see the whole thing. Forgive me for this craziness. So we've got the whole map. So as you can see, he could walk to the store. His house is, I think this one, maybe, or it might even be this one over here. But either way, very, very close to the store. Now I'm going to reassemble the book here. At last I reached the store. I was tired, hungry, and chilled to the bone, but I couldn't think about myself. I was on a mission. And the guy at the grocery store says, "Are you going to carry all this by yourself?" And then he says, "Yes, sir, I've got my sled." And the lady at the store is on the phone, and she said, "Yes, he's on his way back now." So who do you think called the store to check and see where he was? I think it was his mom. I think it was his mom. On the return trip, I raced to drop off the groceries before the sun went down. Grateful smiles and cheers gave me the energy I needed to make it back home. So these people, they must have wanted coffee. So she says, "Wow." And this must be the guy that wanted the cat food because the cat says, "Meow." And here he goes, he's trudging back home, and Mom opened the door, and the doggy says, "Woof," and everybody ran outside to see him. That night, we all had hot cocoa made with milk, and it had never tasted better. But there was something else we still needed. He says it was a perilous journey. Perilous means it was hard, it was tough, it was tricky. Snowplows! It looked as though we would see civilization again after all on Sunday. Guess we'll have to go back to school tomorrow. Boo! Thank heaven I was going stir crazy. These people only had to stay in their house from Monday to Sunday, and they were going stir crazy. We were in the house for a lot longer during this pandemic. We had survived the blizzard. So let's see, does it say what day it is? It's probably still Sunday. It doesn't say. And that is the end of our story. But on the back here, it does tell us a little about the blizzard of 78. So it says, on Monday, February 6, 1978, New England experienced one of the biggest snowstorms in its history. It snowed for 2 days, and by the time it stopped, parts of Rhode Island, Massachusetts, and Connecticut were buried under 40 inches of snow. 40. That's, oh, quick math. That's how many feet? 12 times 3, 36 times 4 is 48. So it's between 3 and 4 inches of snow. Or, I'm sorry, 3 and 4 feet of snow. It's 40 inches. That is 4 times the height of this book. So this book is 10 inches tall. It would be like having 4 of these stacked up on top of each other. So That's 4 times the height of the book. The wind was blowing 50 miles an hour and created snowdrifts up to 15 feet high. Where I grew up in Rhode Island, so the guy that wrote this book, it took over a week for snowplows to get to our street. And this book is based on my experience as a 10-year-old boy in that blizzard and how I got to the store over a mile from my house with tennis rackets tied to my feet. The end. So this was real. He really did live through the blizzard of 1978 in Rhode Island, and he really did tie tennis rackets to his feet at 10 years old and walk a mile to the store. If you can believe it. Hopefully, we don't have a blizzard like that this year. I think we've all had quite enough surprises and craziness. So we'll leave the snowstorm back in 2010, 2021. We're good. We don't need one. But we do hope you enjoyed this story. It's always fun to read stories that are based on something true. So we hope you enjoyed that. There is our craft for today is snowflake painting and coloring. There is no make and take kit because hopefully you have paint and painter's tape and paper at home. But there is instructions on how to make the craft, so be sure to check that out. We hope you enjoyed the story, and we can't wait to see you back here next week. Have a great day.